Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that at least 5 August curveballs are on the way. These storylines will bring major drama to Salem, so here's what Duel fans can look forward to. As part of Gabi Hernandez's efforts to manipulate the Kyriakis brothers, she'll use her seduction skills on both Xander Kyriakis and Philip Kyriakis. However, things will get particularly hot and heavy once Gabi throws herself at Philip. Some passion will erupt and lead to Philip awakening in bed with Gabi, so he'll wonder what this means. Will Gabi stick to her agenda or find herself struggling with genuine feelings for Philip? Meanwhile, Sophia Choi will get jealous as Tate Black and Holly Jonas continue to get their relationship back on track. Holly and Tate will reconnect in the bedroom, so Sophia may somehow get news on that and fume. Although Sophia was hoping to give the baby up and potentially pursue a romantic path forward with Tate, her plan won't work out like she expected. Days spoilers say that's why Sophia will decide to sabotage Holly and Tate's growing bond. Over with Rachel Black, she'll give her testimony in court and worry about the outcome for Johnny DiMera. Rachel will flip out over potentially sending Johnny to prison after she's questioned on the witness stand. Although Rachel will have a meltdown as she frets, the truth could be much worse than she currently imagines. If Rachel shot EJ DiMera and shoved down that memory, she could unlock it sooner or later with Marlena Evans's help. Other Days spoilers say EJ will recruit Gwen von Leuschner for a special project. It looks like Gwen will help EJ with a sabotage plot as he works to protect his own shady agenda. That could affect Steve Johnson's Titan DiMera investigation and maybe even Rafe Hernandez's FBI investigation with Kat Green, so stay tuned for updates on EJ's orders for Gwen. As for Tony DiMera, he may be keeping some sinister secrets. There have been some hints about a possible backup chip containing Stefano DiMera's essence, so maybe Tony has one and intends to put it to good use. Of course, this may not even truly be Tony if Andre DiMera has risen from the grave to take his place. Regardless, Tony will hide things from Anna DiMera ahead of some big revelations on Days. Days of Our Lives spoilers say some surprises are still to come in Salem this August and beyond. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Friday, August 1st, reveal that Xander Kyriakis will spy Sarah Horton Kyriakis in Brady Black's arms. Duel fans will also see Gwen von Leuschner's dinner invite and some hints about EJ DiMera's sinister agenda. So here's what Days has in store. At the Dimera Mansion, EJ will summon Rita Leslie for help with a presumably shady task. Rita never has a problem with doing EJ's dirty work, so she'll pass along any necessary updates and perhaps accept some new orders. Gwen will also pop up and quiz EJ on Friday's Days episode, so viewers will get some clues about his grand plans. EJ has a sinister agenda in play, one that could be in jeopardy if Kat Green digs deep enough. Now that Kat and Chad DiMera are trapped in the hospital elevator together, this could bring a chance for Kat to fish for EJ-related info. Of course, Chad and Kat may also strengthen their bond in such close quarters, so their relationship could get even more complicated. Speaking of complicated relationships, Gwen and Xander will ultimately decide to have dinner together. Whether Gwen invites Xander or he invites her instead, they'll end up in the town square following these dinner plans. That'll give Xander and Gwen a clear view of Sarah hugging Brady, so Xander isn't going to like this one bit. Although Xander signed the separation agreement papers, he still loves Sarah and will remain rather territorial. Gwen, on the other hand, may think this is a great opportunity to show Xander that Sarah's letting go of their relationship. We'll see Gwen play up herself as another romantic option for Xander, but he'll remain jealous over the whole Brady and Sarah situation. Next, Days spoilers say Rachel Black will face Marlena Evans's questions. Marlena will grill Rachel about something important, so this could tie in with the murder trial and maybe even Rachel's own guilt. There have been some hints to suggest that Rachel might be the one who pulled the trigger on EJ. If Rachel fired at EJ that night and blocked it out, Marlena may put the puzzle pieces together eventually. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Marlena will have a lot to mull over after this conversation with Rachel, so stay tuned for any huge news ahead. Marlena stops her couch reading to think back to her Queen of the Night dream, which we flash back to again, sans anything new. Brady gets home with Rachel after the movie, and Marlena suggests a girls' night. Brady skips out fast, and Rachel gets to the point. Why did you want to get rid of Dad? Marlena's got something important to talk about. Johnny's trial. It's very important for Rachel to tell the truth. Uncle EJ wants me to lie. Oh, well, he didn't say that, Rachel admits. He just hinted at it. Marlena insists her only job is telling the truth, and the grown-ups will handle the rest. Marlena believes Johnny's innocent, but they don't know who shot Uncle EJ. So, does Rachel remember anything else she hasn't told people yet from that night? Rachel makes a face. No, she doesn't remember anything else. EJ leaves a message for Sydney, checking in after her fall, only for Gwen to walk in and bring up Susan's newfound medium powers. Xander gets tired of waiting for the elevator, so he offers to carry Victoria's stroller down the stairs for Sarah. She'll wait for the elevator. Sarah calls EJ to tell him the elevator's been broken for a while now and no one's fixed it. So? EJ tries cheaping out, but Sarah says it's his responsibility. So he begrudgingly says it'll be fixed first thing in the morning. He goads her about Xander not buying it, then gets off the phone. This time, Rita walks in on EJ, telling him she knew nickel and diming the hospital was going to end in a revolt. Oh, and she has the budget reports. Is there anything else I can do for you this evening? Close down the intensive care unit, perhaps? Instead of taking the bait, EJ asks her about Stefano. She believes he's gone, right? Of course your father's dead. Well, EJ mentions Susan's claims, and, well, they never found a body. Rita tells EJ that, as Dr. Rolfe explained, Stefano survived Hope's shooting, only to die in hiding many years later. Screw his head on straight, Susan's baddie. Sure, EJ nervously agrees, but he never got a chance to say goodbye. Stefano was still out there while EJ was recovering from his own death, but died before EJ could come back. They both miss him, though Rita admits she doesn't even know where his body ended up. One more thing. Rita suggests maybe he's pinching a few too many pennies. Profits are up. EJ tells her he needs all the money for his grand plans, which he'll reveal in due time. Then Sydney calls him back. Inside the elevator, the entire panel is dead, including the emergency and call button, and there's no cell reception. Chad starts freaking out and shouting, apparently claustrophobic, but Kat points out all the reasons no one will find them anytime soon. There are a lot. Chad doesn't like it. Antics ensue as Chad tries getting out. That elevator has a darn high ceiling, but Kat just sits on the floor and tells him to calm it. In a town like Salem, this barely registers on a problem scale. She changes the subject to the trial. It went fine. EJ even thanked him after saying he loved him. But then, he got to the house and walked in on Susan being extra Susanny. Kat's curious when Chad mentions Susan's Stefano idea, but tries playing it down. There's no way he's still alive, Chad says. He loved his family and wouldn't avoid them this long if he was still around. Chad didn't get a lot of time with Stefano, but his dad raised EJ, which is why they're so alike. So? Kat asks. Stefano was a criminal mastermind. Is EJ too? Nah. EJ learned his lesson, Chad tells her. They move on to Never Have I Ever, but they don't seem to understand the game. They just offer facts. Kat gave Aaron a concussion as a kid. Chad faked a brain tumor to get the girl. That lasts 30 seconds, then she breaks out water and mints a mint, both glad they're not stuck alone. Gwen finds Xander eating alone at the bistro and invites herself to join him, despite his objections. He was enjoying alone time. What? He doesn't want to spend time with her? She thought they were on good terms. Oh, by the way, Leo saw them going into the Salem Inn. Well, not like Sarah would care. They're getting separated. Gwen offers sympathies, which Xander doubts. Annoyed, she says he always tries to change for Sarah, but he doesn't. And she prefers the bad boy. They had fun being bad together. Xander gets uncomfortable, but she keeps pushing until he walks out on her. Sarah finally gets out of the hospital, trying to catch her breath in the square after carrying Victoria down 6 flights of stairs. Brady asks if she's all right, and she's kicking herself a bit for being too stubborn to take Xander's help. Maybe a drink would help, he suggests. Great idea! But mocktails, which they have in the square, while she vents about Xander, until she remembers he did something nice. Still, she says, co-parenting. Sucks, Brady finishes. Sarah took his advice to heart and is trying to avoid a war with Xander over Victoria. Yeah, he and Kristen really messed up Rachel, but she turned out okay. Thanks to everyone's influence, including Sarah's. She gave Rachel the most stable year of her life. They talk a bit more about how Sarah's making the right decision, though she's still struggling. A few months ago, they were talking about another kid. Next week would be their 1-year wedding anniversary. And now, EJ talks to Sydney and is surprised to learn some interesting news about Samantha. Marlena promises Rachel everything is going to work out, and she won't let anyone hurt anybody she cares about again. Her phone rings. She answers it and, "Hi there. Okay, oh honey. I can't believe it. Sammy's coming home tomorrow." Kat decides to take a nap. Chad's horrified, but offers his jacket because she's chilly. He just watches with a smile as she settles in. Out in the square, Sarah and Brady share some encouraging words, then hug before parting, which Xander and Gwen see as they leave the bistro. It's been a hot minute since viewers have seen Allison Sweeney on Days of Our Lives. Though she returned through the revolving door back in April, many were surprised that the character wasn't present for John's funeral. In June, the soap fave explained her absence to us in an interview and promised that viewers would get a true-to-life opportunity on how grief doesn't have a timeline and how John's death continues to resonate. They arranged for me to do it a week later, maybe 2 weeks later, Sweeney shared with Soaps.com. I do come in and have scenes about John, but my timing was a little bit off after all of that. Well, fans, that time has come, and even though Sami hasn't been present during her son's trial, you'll get to see her back in Salem next week to share an emotional reunion with Marlena. However, it'll only be for one episode until her next return in November. Of the mother-daughter reunion, Sweeney told us that these moments that Sami spends with Marlena after John's death will indeed feel realistic to the audience, since mourning doesn't always happen when everyone gets together on one day. Sometimes, that's an ongoing thing. Having Sami come back and share those moments with Marlena allows the writers to tell the story and gives Sami the opportunity to honor John. I'm really glad that I got to be a part of it in the way that I was. It felt very real, she added. Stefano. That seems to be all anyone is talking about lately on Days of Our Lives. Susan's convinced his presence is around, though she seems to waffle on if that means he's alive or his spirit is there. Rafe admitted to Kat that while unlikely, if anyone would cheat death for the 1,000th time, it would be Stefano. EJ's clearly rattled at the idea that his dad's not dead, and even Marlena expressed hesitation to declare her nemesis gone for good. Then there's Tony, who seems intent on resurrecting him for real in the summer preview. But is that really Stefano, or is something else going on? One thing we know is that Joseph Mascolo won't be coming back in any shape, other than flashbacks, as we sadly lost him back in 2016. Stefano did pop up a couple times after that anyway, though, but not in an in-the-flesh, the man is back type of way. And honestly, we here at Soaps are even having a hard time remembering how the Stefano saga ended. We know he survived Hope's shooting, and Kristen and Rolf were working to bring him back for a time. That led into the Stefano saga, with Dr. Rolf implanting the AI chip, the essence, into Steve. But what happened to the real man himself? That's a bit fuzzier, and far more ambiguous. As Rita and EJ talked about on Friday's episode, Stefano survived, then died years later in hiding. None of his family got to say real farewells, and apparently his body has been MIA ever since. Stefano's end has been something of a loose end, likely intentionally, in case the show ever decided to bring him back in some novel new way. And that seems to be what's happening right now. And fans, well, a lot of them aren't having it. Over on Soap's Facebook page, the overwhelming reaction to Susan's declaration was, "Lord, let him stay dead." "Let the man rest in peace, for God's sake," Rosa Bavetta declared. "There is only one Stefano Demera, and the actor has passed away," Karen Casso said, which is a sentiment many people echoed. Though not everyone. I think it's just what is needed to revive this sleepy soap. shared Robin K. No one will ever replace Mascolo, but he's been gone for many years, and a recast would now be great. Like it or not, it seems inevitable that Stefano is coming back in some form. But that doesn't have to be a bad thing for anyone, because ultimately, this could be a chance to lay him to rest once for all. No more loose ends, no more ambiguity. We can find out what really happened to him and bury him in the Demera family crypt. And it can be the writer's way of saying, hey, we know there's always been a chance for him to come back. But this is it. We tied it all up. That's over now. Time to move on. Days of Our Lives spoilers suggest that while fans are excited about Al Calderone joining the cast of NBC's primetime hit, Brilliant Minds, for Season 2, they were a little sad to hear the possibility that the character he plays, Javi Hernandez, might be leaving the Peacock soap. The good news is, it sounds like this won't be the case. In light of Calderone's primetime news, Soap Opera Digest is reporting that they reached out to Duol for a comment, and a spokesperson for the daytime drama responded. In a statement, the rep said, "We do not comment on the contract status of our actors, but fans should not worry. Javi is alive and well in Salem." With that said, both SUD and Deadline are reporting that, as the shooting schedules for both Duel and Brilliant Minds is so demanding, Peacock will be forced to find a recast for the Javi Hernandez character. Calderone has been playing Javi since October 2024, and because the soap films months in advance, viewers still have plenty of time to enjoy the incredible actor on Days. After Calderone announced his new primetime gig, his Duel family rushed the comment section with support. Cherie Jimenez, who plays Javi's cousin, Gabi Hernandez, wrote, "My love hearts, my soulmate. I am so incredibly proud of you and so excited for you to experience all the magic and abundance this universe has in store for you. Mi Estrella, I love you forever." His other on-screen cousin, Galen Gehring, added, "Yes, yes, yes." Meanwhile, Rachel Boyd commented, "Our first responder king, he stays the people's hero." Alice Halsey wrote, "Woohoo! You! Congratulations!" Plus, Robert Scott Wilson offered good wishes with, "Attaboy, congrats, brother." And Dan Feuereagle wrote, "Yay, well done, buddy. Will you miss Al Calderone?" Comment below, watch your favorite Peacock soap daily, and check out this site often for the best Days of Our Lives spoilers, news, and updates. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Friday, August 1st suggest some bombshells as Salemites head into the weekend. A twosome is unexpectedly stuck, while exes bond, and someone has some mighty big plans. What's set to go down on Friday? Time to find out. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Friday, August 1st imply that Chad Demera and Kat Green will unexpectedly get stuck together. Yikes! Do they get caught in an elevator that stops? Either way, will sparks fly between the two? They both care for each other, but Kat's new ISA assignment has created a wedge between the budding couple. Will being stuck together remind them about their chemistry? Just not with each other. During Friday's show, Sarah Horton Kyriakis will bond with Brady Black, as Xander Kyriakis will share a meal with Gwen Rizchek. Read this. Days of Our Lives comings and goings, Javi recast in the works, Al Calderone replaced in role. Sarah and Brady's bonding is interesting since she knows that Sophia Choi has lied about her and Tate Black's baby's adoption. Still, as Sophia has assured her that the baby is safe, Sarah is bound by HIPAA confidentiality to stay quiet. Will Sarah feel guilty if Brady laments about his first grandchild? Across town, Days of Our Lives, spoilers for Friday, imply that EJ Demera will tease about some big plans he has ahead. Is this about Johnny Demera's case, or does EJ have massive plans for the hospital? Finally, Marlena Evans will question Rachel Black. Days fans still seem to suspect that Rachel is behind EJ's shooting, so will Marlena get down to the bottom of this? Marlena has been acting strangely as of late, so it's hard to say at this point. Here's hoping she doesn't have a fainting spell in front of her granddaughter. Are you pumped about Friday's show? Comment below, watch your favorite Peacock soap daily, and check out SOS often for the best Days of Our Lives spoilers, news, and updates. Days of Our Lives spoilers for the week of August 4th-8th, 2025, tease a beloved return and an unwanted presence. The one major Salemite missing from John's memorial was his stepdaughter, Sami, who was said to be taking care of an injured Sydney. Now, Sami is coming back home to Salem when Sweeney returns for a single episode and shares an emotional reunion with Deidre Hall's Marlena. Spoilers also tease that we should look for Sweeney to return again in November. After hiring Steve to investigate Xander and Philip, it looks like Gabby sets a new plan in motion. After complaining to Rafe and Leo midweek, Gabby will try learning Titan Demera secrets from Xander by attempting to get closer to him. Xander has already been hurt by Sarah, so will he see Gabby's true intentions coming, or be blinded by a sudden romance? The week will kick off with JJ worrying alongside Julie. The two may find out that Chad and Kat are stuck in the Salem University Hospital elevator. Whatever happens, by Tuesday, Chad will catch Julie off guard. Meanwhile, on Thursday, Anna is back, and she's got news for Tony about Stefano. Susan already got a vibe that the Demera patriarch's presence is near. Now what will Anna have to share about him? Days of Our Lives spoilers for Monday, August 4th. Welcome home the one and only Sami Brady, which should be good news for Marlena. But also Sami. Sami didn't make it back for John's funeral. We know. Sydney took a bad fall. But she's home now, and she makes a beeline for her mom's house. Marlena is delighted to see her daughter, but now she has another person to fuss over and worry about her. Will Marlena tell Sami about the strange Stefano dreams she's been having? And will this drive Sami back to EJ? Chad and Kat are stuck in an elevator. When Sarah calls EJ about it, he says he'll fix it in the morning. But she doesn't mention that there are people stuck in them because Sarah doesn't know. And why doesn't Sarah know? Do Kat and Chad not have phones to call from? Can they not bang on the doors to get someone's attention? Stomp their feet? Yell? Are they just going to talk about how stuck they are and then make out? Neither of those is going to let folks know they're in trouble. Chanel's husband, Johnny, is on trial for attempted murder. She is busy supporting him, but that doesn't really take all that much time, so she's free to help Felicity with her latest non-baking related problem. Meanwhile, Julie has decided to go into the book-selling business, but there are so many other things on her mind too. There's the departed Doug, for one thing, and the folks who were after him. So Julie worries, and JJ is there to help. Several people in Salem absolutely despise Leo on Days of Our Lives because he has been a con artist, a liar, and a blackmailer. Many of his schemes were driven by selfish reasons and personal gain. However, Leo's been on the path to redemption lately, even getting much-needed therapy from Marlena. He also found love with Javi and apologized to Gwen for destroying her marriage. Greg Ricart recently shared some real insight into how his character has evolved over the years. Ricart took some time to speak with Woman's World about Leo's evolution over the years. While Leo had once helped Nicole deliver her baby, Jude, he would later find out that Sloane kept the baby for herself. And he subsequently used that intel to blackmail the shady lawyer. But lately, as he's turned over a new leaf, he and Javi have been helping to take care of a foster baby. He explained, "The baby Jude storyline certainly impacted Leo, but this is personal." He added that, "Leo and Javi are very much front and center in this, and it's been fun to share the heft of that with Al." It would seem that Leo has begun to mature. Ricard praised his scene partner, Calderon, describing him as wildly talented, fully emotionally available, and game to play and find fun nuances. He noted that his castmate is a good 15 years younger than he, and as such, reminds Ricard of himself. "He's going through a lot of the growth and evolution that we all do at that time in our lives," he enthused. He loved that the writers have been able to dig down past Leo's smarmy exterior to reveal that he actually has a heart. The actor recalled recent scenes with Gwen's Emily O'Brien that illustrated Leo's evolution. "It was poignant and meaningful, but there was also a lot of humor peppered in," he remarked. In the Friday, August 1st episode of Days of Our Lives, Marlena had girl talk with Rachel and urged her to tell the truth about Johnny when she testifies. Kat and Chad were stuck in an elevator together, and despite Chad's panic, the two managed to have a fun time. EJ told Rita he has grand plans for the hospital, which is why his budget cuts are beyond severe. Both Marlena and EJ got word that Sami is on her way to Salem, and Xander and Sarah shared more longing looks before going their separate ways. Something tells us things are about to get really turbulent for the two after Xander witnessed Brady and Sarah hug. On Friday, Xander left Sarah and went straight to eat a solitary meal at the bistro. Gwen joined him there, and even though she said she had thick skin, she was clearly insecure about how their recent romp barely made a blip on Xander's radar. She suggested that maybe Xander and Sarah weren't meant to be. She felt he had to change himself too much to be with her. As for her, she preferred his naughty side. Meanwhile, Brady encouraged Sarah to vent about her rocky marriage and subsequent separation over a mocktail and some water. She admitted to the good and the bad, including that Xander did something generous when he brought Victoria to her a day early. On the flip side, they signed the separation documents, and soon they would be legally separated. She also talked about how next week would be their 1-year wedding anniversary, and they were so happy then. And even a few months ago, they were talking about a second child. Now look at them. At the end of their conversation, Sarah called Brady a great friend, and the feeling was mutual. Then the two hugged, and Xander witnessed it. Now it's a matter of how he will react. Will he misread the situation? Plus, Gwen was right by his side. Will she use the hug to her advantage and encourage Xander's dark side? In the comments, let us know your thoughts about Xander, Sarah, Brady, and Gwen. Also, do you have any speculation about EJ's grand plans? Do all, spoiler alert. Here's your sneak peek at what's happening in Salem from Monday, August 4th to Friday, August 8th, 2025. Stream Peacock every weekday to see how everything plays out on Days of Our Lives. JJ worries with Julie. Chanel helps Felicity. Chad and Kat find themselves in a close moment. Marlena shares an emotional reunion with Sami. Chad catches Julie off guard. Sarah gives Marlena upsetting news. Kat stars training with Rafe. Gabby bonds with Xander. Susan gets under Johnny's skin. Abe reassures Paulina. Gabby complains to Rafe and Leo. EJ and Johnny discuss strategy. Tate asks Sophia for information. Steve confronts Alex. Gabby opens up to Xander. Anna surprises Tony with news about Stefano. Johnny expresses concern to Chanel. Belle and EJ meet secretly. Belle lashes out at EJ. Marlena comforts Johnny. Gabby tries to learn secrets from Xander. Sarah shocks Brady. Chad takes care of Kat. Days of Our Lives sees that nobody is happy with how EJ DeMera is running Salem's University Hospital, least of all Kayla Brady. Since EJ seems likely to keep up with the petty games he's planning, there may be a full-scale revolt on his hands, led by Kayla. Sweetness is not going to be so sweet when it comes down to it. We're going to dive into whether it'll be EJ's cheapskate ways or the distraction of Johnny DeMera's trial that leads to his downfall in running University Hospital. Kayla was just telling Steve Johnson that EJ cost-cutting measures at the hospital have everybody up in arms, wondering what's the next inconvenience for the staff and also for the patients. She warns Stephanie Johnson about EJ, but it's too late. He owns the hospital, and Stephanie took that job. It's going to take a lot more than just a little PR work from Kayla's daughter to clean up the mess that EJ is making. Honestly, it would probably have been a lot easier on this staff if Xander Cook had won the vote. But remember, Jada Hunter arrested Xander at the hospital right at the time of the vote, so things went badly. And EJ wound up with the winning bid to purchase the near-bankrupt medical facility. The big question, of course, is why EJ is driving Kayla crazy with insane budget cuts. If he can't afford to keep the AC on, then he can't afford the hospital. Rafe Hernandez and Kat Green were talking about the mystery of why EJ even wanted the hospital, because it's a losing proposition financially. And any money from Versix is years away from coming in. Not only are Rafe and Kat trying to figure out where EJ got the money to buy the hospital, because he didn't just have it lying around, but also why it was so important to him. Xander was interested in the hospital because Sarah Horton works there. You know, that's her career. It's her livelihood. The hospital is important to Maggie Horton Kyriakis. So Xander and the combined titan. Deer companies had the money to buy it, and the money to keep it going until it could turn a profit. Like until that Versix thing happened. But EJ doesn't seem to have that much room in his wallet. He claimed he bought the hospital because they saved his life after he was shot. But Kayla is not buying it. We also have something big coming in the local Salem medical community that could be part of a backlash to EJ antics at the hospital. His slashing of the budget and alienating the doctors are all part of this on Days of Our Lives. That could be why the town of Salem is forming the Dr. Tom Horton Free Clinic, which is coming soon. It was in the summer promo, so within the next couple of months, Kayla is pleased to announce its opening. She's hosting the inaugural party for it. The big question is, does Salem suddenly need a free clinic because EJ has driven down the availability and quality of care at the hospital? Are there not enough doctors? The hospital's board of directors had 3 options: go completely bankrupt and let the hospital close, see it sold to Xander, or see it sold to EJ. Xander was in the lead because he's married to a doctor, Sarah. They were still together then, and Maggie, his mother-in-law, also had a vote. Xander had what he needed to win until things took a terrible turn. The hunky Titan's arrest forced the board's hand, and EJ essentially won by default. Since then, ISA director Shane Donovan has been completely fixated on finding out what the DeMaras are up to. He dragged Kat back as an ISA analyst to follow EJ money trail because he says she's the top of her game. Kat and Rafe are trying to figure out who helped EJ spy the failing hospital because it looks like he didn't have the capital to do it alone. They don't know where the deeper pockets are and are digging for clues. Kayla is absolutely losing patience in the meantime. EJ tossed her out of her office the other day to have a meeting with her daughter Stephanie while he was cranking up the AC and making everybody else sweaty. Kayla even threatened EJ with resigning because of all the negative changes he's been making. After Kayla made that threat, did back down a little because he knows that if Kayla quit, more staff would probably walk out right behind her. Not only has angered Kayla on Days, but EJ's henchwoman, Rita, has been marching around making very ill-advised changes too. They got cheap on coffee for the doctors, and Rita yanked the fresh fruits and vegetables out of the cafeteria. EJ has cut the hospital's pharmacy hours so drastically that Chad DeMera was rushing to pick up a prescription before they closed. And that was very important. Kat has been working for Marlena Evans, but didn't have a shift on the most recent episode, because Doc's been off her game since John Black died and has been working a lot. But Kat was up at the hospital and ran into Chad, who knew she was off work. Kat lied, saying she was doing some things for Marlena. But really, she was creeping around the hospital digging into what EJ is up to. Kat and Chad wound up in the elevator, which broke down and left them stuck inside. It looks like it might have been the same elevator shaft and elevator that was out of order when they were filming Body and Soul. If you remember, Nurse Whitley King tampered with the elevator and nearly killed Bonnie. This time, though, it seems like EJ budget cuts may have affected elevator maintenance and actually put his brother at risk. Kayla is going to be furious about that because it means doctors could get stuck. Orderlies could get stuck on the elevators with patients.